Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote. I am your host here at Action Coach. And today we have on the show Stacy Savage, founder of Zero Waste Strategies, as my guest. And today we're going to be looking at her business, her journey to business ownership, challenges, and best practices that she has learned on her journey. And we're also going to give you that sneak peek into what it's really like to own and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop episodes like this one. Well, welcome, Stacy. It's so nice to have you here on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kay.
Yes, well, I'd love to kind of jump right in. Give me a brief about yourself as well as your business.
Sure. So again, Stacy Savage, aka the Texas Trash Talker. I've been part of the recycling and waste community for over 20 years here in Central Texas. I got my start back in 2003 as a door-to-door campaign organizer for an environmental nonprofit statewide. And we worked on green legislation such as the 2007 Dell computer takeback law, where all manufacturers of electronic, computers and peripherals are now responsible for taking back and recycling for free for Texans and responsibly their computer equipment. And then we repeated the victory in 2011 with working with Panasonic and Thompson and got the TV take back law passed as well. So all Texans, consumers, residents can take back their old computers and TVs now, and it is the financial responsibility of the manufacturer, not the taxpayer.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, in the local area, I'm here in the Austin local area, just like you. I live just out in Bastrop County. Though I lived in Austin for about 20 something years. So my husband and I just moved out here a couple of years ago, and we love it. Back in the day, we also helped pass 4 local ordinances in the Austin area for the local single-use bag ordinance, got the construction and demolition debris recycling ordinance passed, as well as curbside composting for single-family homes, and the universal recycling ordinance, which mandates business recycling as well. So we've got some good track record on getting some good policy into place that will help foster the City of Austin's full zero waste master plan, and which is a kind of 30-year moonshot to 2040 to get to zero waste, which is globally defined as 90% waste reduction from landfills and incinerators. And we do that through aggressive reuse, recycling, reduction, remanufacturing, refabrication, and putting people to work in the local community, building out our local material markets as well, and revitalizing the local economy.
Wow, that's incredible. It sounds like the work you've done, the pursuits you've made over the years is you have such a passion for. So I'm really excited to dive into this episode. Kind of like kicking it off, I'd love to hear a little bit about your role in the company as the founder and, how do you divvy out your time? Are you mostly working in the business, on the business? Like, what does your day-to-day look like?
Sure. So I founded Zero Waste Strategies back in 2013. I had worked at this, environmental nonprofit for 9 years, doing door-to-door work in legislative policy development and lobbying. And I was kind of at that point where I needed a shift. And so I was sitting in my car at a stoplight in South Austin, waiting for the light to turn green so that I could just drive into my neighborhood. It was the end of the workday, right? And something just hit me out of the blue and just shot through me like a bolt of lightning and said, Stacy, you know all the haulers in the local area, you know the lawmakers, you know the city council members, you know the county commissioners, you know all the environmental nonprofit heavy hitters across the state. Like, why aren't you the hub for zero waste? And so the very next day, I went down to the Travis County Courthouse, dropped $17, and it was the best money I've ever spent because I got my DBA. So I put my shingle out, as they say, And it was, the rest was a long road of ups and downs, roller coaster, because I wear all the hats. I do the marketing as well as the taxes and the legal and the recruitment and the client acquisition and the all of the proposals and contracts and all of that. So it's been uphill, very quick learning experience over the last, we're coming up on 12 years of being in business. So yeah, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It's where I was meant to be, and all these years positioned me very well to be the authority in Central Texas in this niche, helping businesses reduce waste to landfill and get their programs started for waste diversion through recycling and food waste composting, training their staff, getting up to our elbows for 6 hours in a waste audit, digging through trash, sorting and weighing and tracking and all of that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm very passionate about it. Corporations must take the lead. They must step up and put their best foot forward and invest in their green policies and enact them and put some teeth behind them as well.
That's really powerful. I really love the work you're doing. That's so important. And do you have currently any employees or contractors? What's your business structure look like there?
So our business model is very fluid. So it's myself and my husband. And my husband is my VP as well as my VIP. Today's his birthday, so happy birthday, John Savage.
Happy birthday.
But he works, on IT issues because he was former, employee with two of the top 5 technology companies in the world, and I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. They're in North Austin, anyway. But yeah, he works on our IT stuff as well as logistics for whenever we need to travel, and client consultation and things like that. So he does quite a bit of work around company development, the kind of internal.
Mm-hmm.
And if we need assistance on a larger contract, let's say it's one of your larger companies, global recognizable brand. We've worked with many, but sometimes the services they need are much more than the bandwidth that we have as a 2-team company. And so we'll bring in highly vetted, well-respected contractors, subcontractors to work with us. And these are people who have already been in the zero waste consulting world for 20, 30 years themselves. So we'll bring people on to help us service those larger clients. And, maybe there's a particular service that the client needs that's not exactly in our wheelhouse. We'll pull somebody in that can service that. They're still part of our team and we're still leading the project. But we'll bring in those vetted subcontractors to help service that client for that customer satisfaction, which is obviously so important. And then once the project is done and our reports are in and we've invoiced and everybody's gotten paid, then we will dissolve our partnership. And the next time we need to build back up, we'll either contact them again or we'll build with other subcontractors who can more perfectly align with what that client actually needs.
Oh, wow. That's really, like you said, fluid. Like it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like, you've got
Yeah.
kind of your project based and then moving on, like working with the contractors that you need for specific
Mm-hmm.
projects. That's really cool. I'd like to talk about too, like your competitors, like who are some of your competitors out there? How are they comparing with you in the market?
Some of our competitors, the majority of my competitors I don't really see as competitors because they're the ones that were subcontracting with us on projects, and they
Hmm.
return the favor as well. If they need someone like us on their contract, they're going to reach out to us as well. We've got a very strong rapport that goes back almost 20 years with these folks. So the zero waste consultant world is very niche and very, very tight knit community. So we're part of a kind of a US wide web of consultant networks. And so, yeah, they'll help out whenever we need them, or we'll help them on their contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost your question there a little bit. I hope that answered it. I'm trying to
Yes,
think, what did you
no,
ask again?
that's totally, I said, how do your competitors compare with you? But it sounds like
Oh yeah.
you're co-working with your competitors. You kind of are building this larger picture and helping as a whole, more of a holistic way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this it's very, the term zero waste, again, 90% waste reduction from landfills and incinerators is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
But the concept has been around for about 40 years now. It's only recently made landfall in the Austin area back in 2010, whenever the city passed the zero waste master plan. And that can be found online if anybody is interested, or if there's anybody listening who is part of the municipal government in their area and wants to look at which way Austin has been going. They've revamped it recently. So, the larger environmental consulting firms, they've got their team, they've got their, everybody that they've hired for their specific roles. And so we don't really, I don't really see, the Deloittes or the Burns and McDonald's of the world as competitors, because what we do is so completely niche down, where it's literally, we have to get on site, we have to dig through your trash in
True.
order to get the baseline measurements. Like, I don't know if anybody from Deloitte is going to be doing that. So yeah, but we get on site, we get down in the muck, and we figure out what your baseline measurements are, and then we report that to all the staff through, next day training, where we'll get all the percentages and the graphs, and make it look all cool, and just show people where they're at and where they need to go, and how it is imperative to work as a team in order to get the company as a whole to its recycling goals and its
Mm-hmm.
waste diversion goals. And people start to feel a sense of empowerment around that, and a sense of ownership over the programs themselves. They'll start to take it upon themselves to do kind of peer-to-peer training, especially with new folks that are being onboarded. So
Mm-hmm.
they'll take them aside and just kind of show them how to work the programs. And once your employees kind of take ownership of
Mm-hmm.
a program like that, then you've got eyes and ears as a management team, where you can build out your green team. You can have reliable people who really care about the issues lead on those issues, and to report back to you as well. So it really starts, once you kick it off, it starts to become very circular,
Mm-hmm.
as well as a program.
Oh wow, it's really cool to learn about the work you do and how you do it, and like getting kind of, like you said, from the ground. You're at the ground level, and you're like working through and building. So I really, really think that's cool. So kind of like diving into marketing, talking about how you're getting yourself out there. Doing the work you're doing is very important and crucial. How are you finding success in your marketing pursuits right now? Are you like going the social media route, traditional media, word of mouth? What's kind of like your main thing?
I found that because zero waste is a brand new term in most companies and most industries, the word sustainability is very nebulous. There's a lot that has to do with it. It could be water, it could be energy, it could be green building,
Hmm.
and it could be waste, right? So whenever we think about corporate sustainability, it kind of encompasses all of that. But
Hmm.
the term zero waste only specifically deals with what are you bringing into your company, how is it being used within the walls of your company, and then what's going out the back end into your dumpsters, and what's being hauled off your property. And so how do we optimize those systems in all three phases of that? And the marketing around it really is uh, me just putting up my little beacon, out there, and saying, these are the services that we provide. This is why it's beneficial for your company. This is how it saves you money. And then people come to us and they're like, oh, I saw you on TikTok, or I saw you on LinkedIn, and they'll just start talking about the issues, the headaches, and these waste nightmares that they have, and nobody likes to talk about it.
Yeah.
Trash ain't fun. It ain't sexy. It just goes away somewhere. But we live on a circular planet with finite resources. So there is no such place as a way.
Hmm.
So we have to be more responsible with our resources. These are precious natural resources that should not be taken for granted. So the
Hmm.
marketing is really around, um, putting the cost benefits out there, the economic approach to it, and helping businesses save money, be more responsible, helping them with their own green marketing strategies, using the zero waste tactics that we help them with, and to use that to not only edge out the competition, to build their brand affinity, as well as recruit top tier talent that really care about these issues, especially from your millennial and Gen Z crowd. So the marketing that we do helps us, bring in those who are serious and they're ready to get started right away.
Oh, yes, definitely. And are you using platforms for that? Like, what are your platforms to share your message that you're using?
So we have our website, which is just zerowaste.org. It's the number zero, not the word zero. um, and then we're on LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or X. And then what's the other one? Oh, Instagram.
Instagram.
Facebook. Did I
Nice.
say Facebook?
Uh-huh. I got that one in there
So
too.
we're kind of, where you would expect a company to be, and doing everything that we can to put the message out that zero waste is not hard. It just takes commitment to being better than you were last year, and having the opportunity to showcase that to your investors and your shareholders and your customers, as well as your internal employees. Those are the four key demographics right there that zero waste will really impact
Mhm.
their perception of your company. And you want to stay relevant in your industry, so this is a great way to do that.
Definitely. So kind of looking at the future of what you're working on, your business, where do you see yourself going in the next 3 to 5 years?
Ooh, I like it. Well, we've developed out an online training program that will help managers and business owners of smaller to middle-sized businesses. We usually reserve our on-site presence to larger corporations that need a lot of help and a lot of work.
Mhm.
So the online presence that we have, it's called Cash for Trash Zero Waste Academy, and we really help businesses find those resources that they're throwing away, or that they're allowing their employees to throw away because they don't have the proper systems in place. So
Mm.
the online program, it's 8 weeks, and we take you through all of the basic training, essentially, and then we dive into your specific industry headaches and what you're
Mm.
experiencing on site, and ways to navigate the hauler negotiation process. Make sure that your services and your dumpsters and your weekly frequency of pickup is actually on point, and you're not getting taken for a ride because they're getting paid to haul air off your
Mhm.
property because
Yeah.
all your dumpsters are half full. Why is that? Well, we're going to help you figure out those metrics around that. We're going to help you figure out how to train your staff, what they need to hear. Is it in your company lingo? Is it fun? Is it relatable?
Yeah.
So we provide all of those tactics for businesses that really need to get a leg up on the competition, who need to start somewhere. So this is the place to start.
Oh, that sounds incredible. This has been a great conversation, Stacey. I've had a blast talking to you, and now we're going to dive into a fun section called our rapid fire questions. These are four questions. Answer top of mind, the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready for some rapid fire?
Hit me.
All right. Our first question is, what is the key to success for you?
Confidence.
Mm.
And I didn't have much whenever I started, so I've had to learn everything from making big mistakes along the way. So I've been able to build my confidence over the last 12 years to work with those global brands that really need a guiding hand to help them through these processes.
Definitely. What is one piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. You know, there's before you sign contracts, if always say yes to the initial, and then you'll figure it out later, right?
Mhm.
That's how we got our traction with some of the heavy hitters that we've worked with, like Nestle, Purina, and Dell. So saying yes to the process, or saying yes to the initial contract, figuring it out how you're going to do it later. Maybe you bringing on subcontractors that are a little bit more experienced in this than you are, even though you're leading it on paper. You're getting some behind the scenes training from your elders in the space. So keep saying yes to those contracts, even though you may not know exactly what the game plan is going to be for that particular customer. You will figure it out.
Yeah, nothing that like lights a little fire under your butt,
Yes.
like I agree with you there. And what is one, like it could be a book or piece of content you've taken in most recently that's impacted you?
Um, I would say not necessarily a book, but journaling.
Mm,
Being
mhm,
able to journal your internal thoughts, getting the negativity out, the self doubt, the imposter syndrome thoughts that you may have, and getting those all down and out of your emotional space and your mental space is so critical in order to drive a business with confidence. So daily journaling is really been kind of a lifesaver for me.
definitely. Final question is, if you had to choose only one area of business you could rapidly improve tomorrow, what would it be?
Hmm. I would say the client acquisition process. And for a contractor, is a very long process. It usually takes 3 to 6 months to actually get someone to sign on the dotted line, because you have so many layers of bureaucracy to go through and run it up the flagpole to the highest manager or whatnot, get their sign off. It has to go to financial, it has to go to legal. So that is, it's out of my hands, but I wish that process could be a little quicker.
Oh, well, thank you for answering those rapid fire. And before we get to our final question of the day, how can people find you online? What are your social media handles?
Oh yeah, so we're just Zero Waste Strategies, and it is all spelled out ZERO, Zero Waste Strategies, and that's plural strategies. So that is on, yeah, all of the main social media platforms, and then of course our website zerowaste.org, that has the number, not the letter. Um, and then our phone number is 512-693-7677.
Awesome. Thank you. Well,
I'm
this has
always
been a
up for a chat.
yay. Well, thank you again for this. Our final question of the day is, what is most inspiring to you today?
Oh, the youth, they ain't having it. Our Gen Z and Gen Alpha is even more feral than Gen Z, and they're pissed. They are
Hmm.
angry, and they're starting to understand how to funnel that anger into citizen action.
Hmm.
And we're seeing global movements led by children. We're seeing lawsuits being brought by entire state, from children, class action lawsuits against state governments, and winning.
Hmm.
So these kids have a lot of passion for not living on a dying planet, and
Hmm.
we, as the parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents of these kids, need to support them in any way that we can, because quite honestly, we're the ones that have mucked it up for them. And
Hmm.
so we have to stand strong and get their back at every turn whenever they want to be involved in something that can uh, reduce pollution, or call out a company on social media, or be part of a campaign that they feel passionate about, absolutely, let's let them do that. Let's let them be in the front leading, um, because they're the ones that are going to suffer the consequences the most.
It's very insightful. And thank you so much, Stacy. This has been a joy to talk to you, to get to know your business. So thanks for being on the show today.
You bet. Thank you.